Hi guys, welcome back to my channel, or if this is your first time watching, then welcome. I'm currently in the middle of filming a tutorial for a look at the moment, but I thought that seeing as I never show myself applying my lashes on camera, I would do a little tutorial to show you how I apply my lashes. I also had a subscriber request this, so I figured I would film it now. The first thing that I will usually do, I don't do it every time, but it's definitely good for if you're a beginner. I will apply a thin line of eyeliner. This helps to hide any gaps that you might get when applying your lashes. So if you have tried to apply lashes before, you may have noticed that sometimes if you don't get it close enough to your lash line, you'll see a little gap of your skin color showing through, or any bright eyeshadows or anything like that, and it can make it look quite obvious that they're not on close to your lash line and that they're fake. So this is a step that I think helps a lot, and especially too because when you apply your lashes, they don't go all the way into the center of your eye, and so if you're applying it a bit out, you may be able to see that there's a black bit where the band of the eyelashes are, and that just abruptly stops. So that can help to make it look like one long line, I guess, you know. Wow, I'm so bad at explaining things. Yeah, it can help make it look better. It's basically all I really need to say. So there are many different options to use for eyeliner. What I use is it's a pen felt tip liquid eyeliner. So this is the Kat Von D tattoo liner. You can also use something like this, which is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Jet Cream Eyeliner, or like a gel eyeliner. So that is basically like an eyebrow pomade, and I used to use this every time. But what I found is that you don't get as crisp of a line, and also if you're using glitter, it's really hard to go over top of the glitter using this. So I've since switched to this felt tip liquid liner, but a liquid liner that comes like this, that is also good. And of course you also have your regular crayon eyeliner, which is like a pencil. This is the same kind of deal as with the gel eyeliner, is that it's not very crisp or sharp, so I tend to just use these in my waterline and, you know, my tight line at the top there. So yes, I always use this, so I'll show you guys how I do that. I'll just zoom you in. I'll continue to speak. So I always give it a shake, and then I'll test it on the back of my hand to make sure it's coming out properly, which it is. And then what I'll do is I'll start in the center of the eye here, and I lay it flat like that instead of having it outwards like that. And this means that you can keep it, you know, more in a straight line, I guess. So I always have the point pointed into the center of my eye, and I'm just going to start here and go as close to the lash line as I can get. And I've got that little bit there, and I'm going to just bring this out. And at this point I tend to face the pen outwards just to get the end, so that I can get the outer part as well. And I'll drag this up into here, and I'm staying close, like really close to the lash line. I'm touching the lashes actually, and you just get a thin line down and you can thicken it up afterwards. So I just want a thin line for this. So that part there is pretty good. You can't really see it because I've got black eyeshadow on there, but I can see it, and yeah. Now after this, I'm going to bring the liner in towards the center of my eye, or you know, the inner corner. Oh, my arm's getting sore from holding my mirror. Whew. So yeah, now I'm going to go in towards the inner corner of my eye, and I'm just going to do little sections at a time. So a little bit. And just very thin, and then I will continue. I'm gonna go right in now and just connect that. And joining it up to that bit in the center. Okay, I'm not sure if you can see, but you can see on this eye, and my nose is going in focus. So yeah, on this eye you can see it comes all the way down, and on this eye you can see it's obviously just that silver color there. So that's looking pretty good to me. I might just quickly get this bit here a little bit thicker so that it matches up with my lashes, my false lashes. So now you can start adjusting it. Alright, that's looking good. I'll go ahead and do my other eye, and I can time lapse this or speed it up so that you guys can see the whole kind of process. Okay, so you can see there's a very thin line there, and you're not actually going to be able to see this once you put the lashes on, so you don't have to make it perfect, but that is the first step. Now I'm going to be using these lashes. These are XO Beauty Faux Mink lashes. These are in the style Thunder, so they're obviously quite dramatic. They do look a little bit funny when you look at them, so you can see they're quite tightly curved, you know, they don't fit like a natural eye shape. And the reason that these lashes are like this is because of the glue that I've been using with these lashes. So there are a few different types of glue. Well, I don't really know if there's a few different types. I know of 2 different types. I have a few different brands. So the first type that most people would probably be using is something like this, which is the Ardell Lash Grip Eyelash Adhesive. And this has latex in it, I believe. Contains formaldehyde. Wow, I did not know that. But yeah, so I'm pretty sure that this type of glue contains latex. And so what that means is that, you know, when you pull it off and it feels like it's, you know, pulling your whole eye with it, because it's got that glue, like tacky glue kind of feeling. And you often will get eyelash glue in your eyelashes after you remove them. It can be there for days afterwards if you're not removing it properly. So that's a common lash glue to use. But the glue that I've been using is actually this XO Beauty lash glue, and this is latex free. So when you pull your eyelash off after using this glue, it just comes right off. There's no glue, there's no tugging at your eye, well, there's no like, you know, gluey feeling. It just comes off. It's really good. And so this glue, you don't have to wait. Once you apply it to the lash, you can stick it right on and it will stay. Whereas a glue like this, it needs to go tacky first. So you apply this to the lash and then you wait roughly 30 to 60 seconds until it starts going tacky. And you're gonna know that it's going tacky because it will be white or black. Usually it'll be white. And then once it starts to dry and go tacky, it's gonna start to go a bit clear. Some even go like blue colored, and that's when you know it's ready to apply. But whereas this glue that I've been using, you don't have to do that. So it's a lot faster. What I will say about this glue is that it sometimes burns your eyelids. I noticed it the very first time I used it, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can use this again. But it doesn't happen every time. I think it only happens if, oh, my light turned off. I think it only happens if you get very close to the, you know, the inside of your eye, then it can leak in and burn. That can be quite painful. So you got to try to not put too much glue on there. So back to this lash. So the reason it's gone so tightly curled is because I've been using the latex free glue with this. And because it dries hard instead of sticky, it just kind of pulls it tightly together once it's off your eyelid. So if you're using a glue like that, then you need to make sure that you I just kind of snap it, you know, so it's not, so the glue's not all connected, you know, so you're breaking the glue. So you can see now that looks better. And you always want to take off whatever glue is on there before you reapply the glue. So this glue just kind of flakes off and it can be quite difficult to remove. The latex glue is quite easy to remove because you can just pull it and it comes off like in a long string. If you have brand new lashes, then you're going to need to make the band a bit more flexible. So you do that just by, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do it with these ones because they've got the glue on them, but you just kind of wiggle them around, you know, and make sure that band is a bit flexible so it can mold to your eye. What you're also going to need to do is you grab the lash. It's usually bigger than this, right, when it comes, and you need to measure it out to your eye size because you need it to be the perfect size or it's not going to stick properly. So you take the lash and some tweezers, you just hold it up to your eye and you're like, okay, yep, that looks good, and you kind of just you measure it up. I'm so bad at explaining, I'm so sorry. I really hope this is helpful. But yeah, so you just measure it out to your eye shape, eye size, and you might not need to trim it, or you might need to trim it. Most of the time you do need to trim it because they make it as large as possible so that it's not too small for anybody. So I've already trimmed these, so these are the perfect size. But usually for me, I will trim off, so you can kind of see the clusters there. So I'll usually cut off about one cluster or about ½ centimeter worth. I don't know what that is in inches, I'm sorry. So yeah, that's all you need to know for before applying the lashes. So I've actually stopped using this lash glue, and the reason why is because it's like a little tube and it's very hard to get a nice even amount on the lash. So what I would recommend if you're using a glue like this would be to squirt this out on your hand and then use a toothpick or something just small and skinny like that, and then you can apply it nice and evenly. So when I'm using a latex based glue, or you know, just a sticky glue, I've been using this glue by the Shania Rose collection, and I've been using this one because it has a nice little applicator there, which is actually a brush, so it makes it a lot easier to get an even spread. Also, to apply my lashes, I will generally use, well actually not generally, I always use these lash tweezers. So they're obviously different to a regular tweezer. These lash tweezers, they're curved like that so that you can put it across the lash and you can hold, you know, a lot of it, and that gives you more control. And it also just makes it easier to hold because then you can have it to the side of your eye, whereas if you're applying with a regular tweezer, then you almost need to apply like that, and you're going to be doing it face on. Now, for the purpose of the video, I'm going to use a latex based glue, and I'm also going to use these regular tweezers because I think that's what most people at home will be using. Okay, so I've gotten that nice and flexible, it's moving around. I'm going to grab it with my lashes, with my tweezers, and I just grab it like right in the middle there, because that's the part that I'm going to be putting onto the eye first. Okay, I'm hoping that you guys are going to be able to see this. So I've got my glue, I was holding onto it in my fingers like this. If you have it on your hand, that's also a good way to hold it. So you hold it like that. I'm going to apply a thin line of glue, and you want this to be even all the way across, because as I was saying before, you know, you've got to wait for it to go tacky. Well, you don't want one part of the lash drying while the other part is still waiting to get tacky, because then it's not going to stick properly. So always got to make sure it's even, and you want to make sure that there's especially glue on each end of the lash band, and also right in the center. Those are the most important parts to get the glue, because you don't want it peeling away from your eye. You can see there I've got my glue, it's looking quite even. There you go, it's nice and thin. Also, you don't want to put too much on because it will slide around on your eye, and it's just going to take longer to dry, and it's going to be more difficult. So at this point I'll usually blow on it, I'll wave it around, just waiting for it to start to go tacky. You can apply it without waiting for it to go tacky, but then you're going to have to hold it in place while it dries, and that's just so difficult. It can also make you get the glue in your eye, which I have experienced before, which is not fun. You can see parts of it are starting to go clear. It's almost getting a bit of a bluey color. Okay, I'm going to start explaining this to you before I do it, because once it gets tacky, I want to stick it straight on the eye. So a revelation I had recently is that when you're applying it, you don't want to apply it directly into your eye like this, because as you can see, my regular lashes are going to get in the way. So what you want to do is you want to turn it on an angle. Oh my god, this is so difficult. Alright, I'm gonna have to zoom you out. So, on an angle like this, right? So then you can get behind the lashes, and then once you get down, you want to get the middle right as close to the lash line as you can get it, and then you can turn it like this. And that's going to make the outer edges stick to your eye where it needs to go, and then you can rearrange, you know, reposition it from there. I've just realized I pulled my lash off because I forgot to put mascara on before my lashes, and it's something I completely forgot to talk about. Now, a lot of people will say that you have to apply the mascara after the lashes to get them to blend in together nicely, and I do think that is true. It does make your lashes look more realistic or blend in with your natural lashes. These are obviously not my natural lashes, so I don't really care about them looking natural. But what I do care about is the fact that these Exo Beauty Faux Mink lashes cost around about, I think, 30 New Zealand dollars. And who has the amount of money to wear a $30 pair of lashes, put makeup all over them, and then chuck them out and buy new ones? I don't, and I don't know a single person who does. There are ways where you can take the mascara off and clean them, but you're not going to get the longevity out of the lashes, and for $30 for a pair of lashes you need to make them last as long as you can. So I always apply mascara first. I'm just going to be using this mascara which I've had for a while. It's a Giorgio Armani Eccentrico mascara. So just applying this to my top and lower lashes. And I only do one coat because what's the point in doing more than one? You just want them to look black so that you can not see them stand out against your black false lashes, right? Okay, so reapplying my lash glue. Okay, so you can see it's going blue, bluey cleary. So I'm going to apply this now. I'm going to not leave it to go fully tacky because then I'm not going to be able to reposition it, and the last 2 times that I tried to reposition it I couldn't, and I needed to. So this just means that I'm going to have to probably hold it in place once I get it there, just until it dries. But that's fine with me. I'm just going to give it a go. So applying on an angle, getting behind those lashes, and then I'm going to get the middle part of the lash band in the right position, as close as I can get to the lower lash line, and then place this outer corner, and then place the inner corner. So there we have, the lash is applied. You can't even see the liner. Like I was saying, the lashes just cover that little bit of liner. If you need to, you can go back in with the eyeliner as well. You can see the eyeliner's kind of rubbed off, like in the middle bit here. So I'm just going to reapply that to help blend those two together. Just in that one spot. There we go. Okay, the other eye. So on an angle, getting behind those lashes. And then I rotate it to be parallel with my eye. Stick the outer corner out on, and now the inner corner. And just pushing down to just make sure it's stuck there properly. Okay. Alright, so that is both of the lashes applied. Alright, let's have a little discussion about this. So, this eye took me 5 goes. This eye took me 1 go. Now, I almost ended up in tears. I chucked my eyelashes everywhere because I was getting so annoyed. And it's just typical that when I go to film it, it just won't work. Now, I do actually believe it's because of the tweezers that I'm using. So I would highly recommend you grab yourself some of these lash tweezers if you can, because they really just make it so much easier. I didn't realize how much easier it was until I tried to go back to using regular tweezers. So definitely get your hands on some of those if you are struggling with your lashes. And I also greatly appreciate the XO Beauty glue a lot more now, because yeah, it made everything so easy. I hope this video helped you. Yeah, I'm so bad at explaining things, so I don't know why I started doing YouTube tutorials, because I'm just the worst at explaining, but I'll get there. And if you have any more questions, then feel free to leave a comment down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. So yeah, I hope this helped and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please thumbs up and subscribe and tick that little bell button so that you can get notified every time I post a new video. I hope you guys have a great day and I will see you in the next one.